With you this morning after a great opening yesterday. So just a little correction, I am a State Secretary for the Employment and Vocational Training Ministry. So we have this specificity in Tunisia to have an education ministry, a higher education ministry, and an employment and vocational training ministry. We are working together, the three of us. I'm coming from Tunisia, and I think that everybody here knows Tunisia. This country who had the greatest experience in the Arab Spring, who could lead a democratic transition with peace and also inspire the rest of the world. We were able in Tunisia to address the demand of the people in terms of freedom, in terms of human rights, in terms of political rights. And today we have a new challenge, and this challenge is the economic situation. An economic situation which is also deeply related to the economic phase all the region is actually crossing. Tunisia has to respond today to this demand of dignity coming from young people who are, for many of them, for too many of them, today facing unemployment. And our answer, after 5 years of experience in a democratic process, is that vocational training is the first answer to youth unemployment. How do we do that? We collaborate a lot with our partners, and mainly with Germany, from whom we can be inspired but also advised, because the German experience of a country who was able to rebuild itself from scratch after a very, very hard war is actually an inspiration to the rest of the Arab world, those who are facing economic and institutional crisis, but also those who are in the middle of strong and harmful wars. This Tunisian-German cooperation today, we want to bring it to another level. Democracy is helping as well to do that. And we are aiming in the first trimester of 2017 to have our first bilateral cooperation in terms of vocational training with Germany. And what is the most interesting in the German experience is not actually to duplicate a system which is definitely German. It's to be inspired by a mode of governance who is today the solution. And in this mode of governance, we have identified 3 aims, which are our main objectives today in the ministry. The first one is to change the image of vocational trainings. Everyone said it yesterday. To be a doctor or an engineer are very, the experiences of success. And today we need to challenge that. We need to see that someone working with its hand is actually someone who is doing good to the rest of the community. Actually, with this communication job, which is necessary but which is not sufficient, we are modernizing our system of vocational training in a major program called the reform of the vocational training system, which actually include 14 projects, which are dealing with subjects as various as the vocational training for handicapped people, or vocational training for those living in rural areas, but also vocational trainings for the future economic sectors like the ICT and the digital economy. And then finally, the last objective is how do we reconcile the state and the private sector in a country like us, who for decades believed sometimes that the private sector is a kind of devil. It is not. The private sector is also today a part of the solution, because the private sector is actually made of citizens, is actually also made of bakers, of people who are working at a very local and sometimes in their village. Finally, and this is probably the specificity of Tunisia, yes, we are here to benefit from others' experience. But even if we are a government, we are here to sell something, which is the Tunisian vocational training system. We are already collaborating with major African countries, and among them Burkina Faso, the Ivory Coast, Mali, Nigeria, who are the future powers in the continent. And it is being a successful experience for us to see how our experience, which started in the 70s in vocational training, is now benefiting as well to the rest of the continent. And I want to conclude with this. It's a great occasion to be gathered here in Germany with our German partners, but it's also a great occasion to talk to every single country of the region and to tell them that Tunisia has opened doors for you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this speech, and also for the opportunity to get into contact with you afterwards. We already spoke about it yesterday, that we will keep the contact, and I will keep you informed about the process of cooperation activities